Warriorlock. What started out as a somewhat juvenile game filled with crude toilet-level humor and dick jokes, clever ones might I add, is one that sorta lost its way with sprawling maze-like maps and a lack of that humor and dialogue it started so strongly with. In the end, and what an end, let me tell you, it honestly felt like a game that didn't know how to end itself, or where to end itself. It's, in my opinion, a textbook case of failed potential, or possibly a game that the developer lost interest in towards the end. Honestly, it's hard to say, and I don't know if I care enough to find out because of how the game ended. It killed the rest of the experience for me. The following is going to be a major spoiler, or it would have been if the developer hadn't spoiled the whole thing on the Steam store page first. Entranced into a deep dreamscape with his alien captor, a young explorer is unwittingly recast a challenger in a realm of fantasy, where empowered with might and magic and perhaps a few good companions, he must crawl a punishing gauntlet of dark entities and monsters to escape the labyrinth of his ensnared mind, proving himself worthy of ingestion. What the hell does that even mean? Proving himself worthy of ingestion? Ugh. The game gives zero indication of any of this until the actual ending of the game. I mean, what the hell? While playing it, I had a feeling something was off, but I was intrigued and wanted to know more. Reading this on the actual game page about midway through my playthrough killed any sense of wonder I had, and also interest in the game. So, for good things the game had going for it, hilarious character interactions at the beginning, beautifully rendered and crafted maps. I mean, even though I did not like going through them, they looked very good. And excellent animations for the attacks and the characters. I was impressed with how well and detailed the character attacks were, especially the dwarf's attack. The only way to run and escape from fights in this game is to bribe the enemies. If you don't have enough gold, or if they don't accept bribes, you can't escape at all. There are no weapons or armor drops as far as I can tell, and the only way to improve your armor is an augment in the single town, which you can't go back to until towards the end of the game. The price of the game is a bit high for what you get. The game took me about 5 hours to complete, but only because the areas were basically mazes you get lost in and you're forced to either backtrack or grind to advance. Hope you're comfy, folks. This is going to be a doozy. The combat in the game is not fun. Not only is there a monetary aspect tied to escaping battles, but you have to earn enough AP to use your skills. Each skill takes about 100 AP, and you earn it at about 40 to 50 per turn. So you can only use your skills, defensive or otherwise, about once every 2 to 3 turns. Also, the enemies are incredibly difficult, and the amount of experience you get is so small it may as well be non-existent. There is no balance to this game at all. Randomized loot. Nothing better than getting an awesome trinket, forgetting to save immediately after, dying, and then going back and only getting 3 gold from the exact same chest. There's no reason for that. It's just punishing for a player, and when the loot is so randomized that it gives a terrible reward instead of a comparable one, that's bad design. It is an absolute slog to get through most of the maps. While they are, for the most part, very beautifully done, they just go on and on. Almost all the locations are maze-like, and with the last area being a huge maze within a maze sort of setup, you just feel bored and angry that you're still stuck in an area you should have left 20 minutes ago. And while we're on it, the final area is abysmal. It's a multi-level maze that has a singular color for the tiles. This is also where I felt most of my gameplay resided. It sapped all of the fun and enjoyment, and the fact that the dialogue was at a bare minimum at this point did not help. Now let's talk about that ending. It was abrupt and made the game make no sense. Also, it felt more like the game to this point was just an intro and that the real game should begin at this point, but it didn't. Warriorlock is a game that started off strong, had some impressive animations and maps, and hilariously crude humor, but then suffered from losing its direction and not finding it again. The game takes you on this quest where, by the end, you almost forget what it actually was you had set out to accomplish, and you sort of don't care. You just want to get it over with, and it feels like the game wants the same as well. I cannot recommend this game, especially at the full price. I'm HawkZombie. Thanks for listening.